lights, camera, action.
We're doing it.
And away we go.
Go. All right. Hold on. I'm going to pull up just the F1 calendar. All right. So you didn't watch free practice.
I just start introducing myself because my name is not Jake. It's Brad.
It's Brad. And I'm Jake.
And I'm here this time. So we're actually going to pull this off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Second episode.
Zandvoort.
Yeah.
The Netherlands. Red Bull home race.
Yeah.
Vibes.
It was good. A lot of orange out there today.
A lot of orange.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Which worked out for Lando.
Spoiler alert.
I like that cheeky little remark he made when when he won. They're like, yeah, a lot of orange out here. And he goes, yeah, kind of worked out well for that.
I thought you were gonna say simply lovely. I'm not sure if you
The
caught that.
Lovely, yeah,
that was cheeky. And you know what the best part about it is he beat Max more than Max beat everyone else in the first race. So technically, he has the biggest win of the season so far.
Dude, he's got the biggest win. I think they said there hasn't been a 20-second win in at least a decade.
Well, Max won 22 earlier in the season.
Oh, did he? Okay,
yeah.
Never
mind.
So
but he beat it 22-3, I think it was, and Lando just put it in 22-9.
So just insult to industry.
Just insult to industry, simply lovely.
Lovely.
And don't get me wrong,
fastest lap.
On the last lap on hard tires. We'll get there. I can't talk about it yet. Okay, let's start with practice.
Yeah.
FP1 full wet.
So you're going to have to refresh me because I was driving when FP1 was
okay, so FP1, it was full rainstorm. Start off everything. I think they red flagged at the beginning. Don't quote me on it. But I started in a little bit later. Everyone was on wets and intermediates. Everyone was just going off the track everywhere. I think it was either the first corner after the straight. I think I saw Carlos in the gravel trap. I think I saw Max going to the gravel trap. I think Sergio was in it at one point. Everyone was just in the gravel.
Yeah.
It was freaking crazy. I wrote here loose and wet.
Loose and wet. Was it FP3 Sergeant?
Yeah. Sergeant. Just get him out.
I think he's done next season. Obviously, he's gonna be. He is. I don't think he's gonna be maintaining even a reserve driver. I think most likely he's gonna go off to do some other IndyCar. Most likely, yeah. Good riddance, though.
I mean, I don't know who was paying who or how he kept that seat for so long, but I'm glad James has kind of finally been like, okay, Sergeant, that's enough.
Does Sergeant even bring in a lot? He doesn't even bring in a lot of sponsorship money, does he?
Other than he's American.
Yeah, so they kind of want him.
They want him in there
for the fans. Bring him in for the fans.
Yeah.
Oh well, whatever.
But leading up to the race, we should probably talk about some news that happened this weekend. That's pretty big. Alpine signed their new Jack Doohan driver, so he's going to be in there with Gasly. Gasly had a pretty decent race this weekend.
Yeah, he did. Pushed well.
I think a lot of teams brought new upgrades. McLaren brought some new upgrades. And, I think the predictions were it was going to be Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes.
Yeah.
Kind of turned out similar to that, but we'll see.
It's good upgrades for McLaren. It's kind of sad that, even Horner and Horner's been even just saying any of the upgrades that are coming for Red Bull for the remainder of the season are going to be minimal at best.
Yeah.
And even for the majority of next season. So I don't know if we're going to be seeing a stagnated Red Bull at this point forward, just because they're prioritizing 2026 with the new car, new regulations, and new engine.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I didn't think about the new engine part of it.
Yeah, I mean, so it's the Ford partnered engine, going to be completely untested. I don't know what's going to happen, but it'll be interesting next season to see how far back Red Bull falls in the totem pole.
Oh, if
they do, you're a big Max fan, but I think it's gonna be big. Ferrari, if Ferrari can sit down and go, what did we do right?
Yeah.
What gods did Charles pray to make this race happen?
We'll get to Charles. Prince Charles.
What did he do to get third place? But
Oh, if I
Yeah,
have to hear Charles is an amazing driver one more time,
dude,
I
he's
just
he's a phenomenal. He's the one of the greatest drivers of all
let's
time.
see what happens when
Yeah,
Lewis is in that car with him. I don't know.
yeah, that'll be interesting to
The
see.
only thing that Ferrari has done well in the last couple of years is brought Fred Vasseur in because
Yeah,
he
Fred's
has
great.
been
Fred's
killing it for
awesome.
them.
He's also so funny.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
great. When Lando won his first race,
yeah, yeah. He's
right in
awesome.
there popping
Yeah,
champagne,
yeah.
having a great time.
He's a fucking character
Yeah,
for sure.
like I would take Signs over Leclerc every day of the week, but that's not the way things went. So it is what it is.
You would take sign. Yeah, same. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not a. I
I
get
like
it. He's got a wiener dog now. He's got a hot girlfriend,
dude.
but
That
that's about
wiener
it.
dog is so cute though. Like such a
Like
cute dog.
I don't know.
And then Hamilton's dog's Rocco,
Yeah, Rocco.
big
Yeah.
tough British bulldog. They'll do. I think they're going to do well together as teammates. I'm excited to kind of see that pairing. I think I brought it up in the last podcast. I feel terrible for. Actually, I don't feel terrible for George. I think it's funny what's happening to George. Just him being kind of touted as like Lewis's replacement and being like, George, you're gonna be the team lead for Mercedes, and then all of a sudden now Antonelli's coming, and it's just gonna be the young gun is like George is just like, well,
let's break some rules.
What the fuck happened to me, man? Like I thought I was gonna be number one, and now Toto's all gung ho for him, and then like we're saying, like I hate to like speculate, but if Red Bull doesn't nail it for 2026, does Max stay? He's gone, right? But also, I was like, my dad's an F1 fan. I was talking about this with him today too. Max made a statement about 2 or 3 days ago about he just did his 200th race. They asked him if he's going to be around for another 200, and he said no. Like he's probably going to go to a different race league, maybe WRC, like his dad.
Yeah, he'll do endurance
He'll do endurance. Yeah. Maybe he does more like sim stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like he's just such a talented driver overall that it would almost be a shame for him to stay in Formula One and not see where else he can win world.
I mean, it's in his blood.
Yeah, he's a racer.
Bred to be a race car driver.
Yeah, he's a race car driver.
It is what it is.
Anyway,
he doesn't care. He's got. I mean, I'm a huge Max fan. It's very controversial.
Yeah,
but like his competitiveness and how he like seeks the win regardless of what the consequences are. Whose other race he's messing up, I think, is like
he will take out his
very unsportsmanlike. But at the same time, like he's an epic driver. He's not there to come second. You know what I mean? So yeah,
it was great. Hold on, I want to pull up just the whole list of the race standings for the Dutch Grand Prix. Because there was some good stuff that happened. I thought it was a pretty entertaining race. It's such a sick track.
No, I mean, we were just talking about it before we came on. Just that one swooping down corner. Everyone's gonna call me out. I don't know what the corner's called, but everyone knows what the corner is. The one that Danny broke his wrist on last year.
Yeah.
Epic corner. Like seeing them come in low and swoop up high, and then Piastri was taking a low line through there. Like there's so many different choices you can do.
It's so cool.
And it's beautiful. Like a toilet bowl.
Like a toilet bowl. Yeah, it is. It spins you through it. Danny actually did decent this race.
Yeah.
He gained a position from starting, which was awesome to see. Yuki, on the other hand, kind of got shafted. I don't know if you saw that. The bad calls on tires.
He was on softs at one point. He followed Lewis's strategy.
Yeah, so he started softs, and it was very quickly. I think at least under lap 20, they called him in off the softs to switch, and he went to mediums. Everyone at that point had kind of already, like Lewis went from softs to hards, and it clearly worked.
Yeah.
And V-Carb went, well, let's try mediums. And I honestly, dude, I'd have to go back and look, but I think he was on those mediums for like 7 to 10 laps.
Yeah, I mean, they were probably hoping for a safety car or some type of incident and that's going to let them get that extra pit stop. That's the only play.
It's brutal because, like, honestly, I think if they had made a better call and maybe kept him on the same plan that Danny was on, or they had gone straight to hards, I think he could have gotten up into the points. Yeah. He was already higher up there.
I mean, I'm not sure. I at one point I was watching near the end of the race. Hulkenberg was like in the points, and I'm not sure if he got 10th or what happened if he fell off. Or
Hulkenberg ended up going 11th, so just outside the points. He was so close,
and he was running those hards for an eternity in
Yeah.
that race. And slowly people were just trickling by, but he almost held it. And like that's such a classic Hulkenberg Haas move too.
Do you think the banked corners maintain tire degradation like better,
Oh, I would say your
or is it
inside
eating
your
eating
inside
it's eating them?
tire,
Yeah,
something's getting worn out more. I'm not sure if it's your inside or outside tire, but it is for sure.
yeah.
I mean, it has to.
Well, a
It,
couple of those guys ran long time on those hards, which was great. It was
yeah.
it was an entertaining race. I was actually, I think most of all, I was really stoked to see how well Albon did. Qualified well. He had an engine.
No, it was his floor was too wide. So Williams, he got P8, I think, or P7 or
Yeah, it's
P8 in
P7.
quality.
I was blown away.
I was like, yes, let's go. And they take him in. The FAA is like, oh, we're going to do a random inspection on you. And of course, the random inspection, they finally catch something. And because Williams was using Excel to measure their freaking floor width, but like it literally was just Williams said it was within spec
Yeah.
using their measuring system, and the FIA said it was not within spec using the FIA measuring system. So they ended up coming around and being like, okay, I guess it's out of spec, but it's obviously something to do with Williams' tools that they're using.
Yeah, what are they using, like the trial version of Windows
Yeah,
Excel?
seriously.
Like, okay.
Like they're trying to figure it out. I respect it. The fact that he was there, I think the width was off by such a minuscule amount.
It's probably
too,
not
but it was
making
enough to make a difference, right?
Yeah.
And they caught him. So that sucks for him. I think he started like P18 or something, which was a total bummer. But I mean, there were some other big things that happened in quality that really dictated the race too. Like Q1, Perez on his fast lap,
Yeah.
Lewis blocked him. He got the
Yeah.
impeding penalty. But a bummer for Perez because Perez is in a situation right now where he needs to get points. He
Yeah.
needs to show the team that he's worth bringing the sponsorship money and the points for the constructors. So, I mean, that was brutal. I think right after Q1, they announced it was with the stewards, and like at the end, after quality, they ended up getting the penalty. But I don't think Lewis placed all that bad either. And
No, Lewis did great. He placed 8th. Actually, take that back.
he was out in Q2, I think.
Yeah, not that great. I remember actually even him in the press box afterwards, he thought that he had done better than P8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it was still like everyone was kind of figuring it out still, I think, in quality. I think because FP1 was cut short because of the rain and they didn't get to do a ton of testing. I think between like both Red Bull cars, they had just over 100 laps put in practice, which is not a lot.
Not a lot.
So
interesting.
It is what it is. You know, people got to figure it out.
Plus, they're coming back from summer break.
Yeah. And, you know, there was definitely some surprises in the quality. Like at one point, like Stroll was in P4, like after in the last minute.
Yeah.
And he made it to Q3.
Yeah. Yeah.
He made it to Q3.
The rare Q3.
I mean, Sainz got knocked out. Yeah. Hamilton Tsunoda, Hulkenberg. Like Sainz and Hamilton, they should be guaranteed.
Yeah.
You know,
Q3 for sure. But they didn't.
They did because, you know, somehow Aston figured it out for the one car lap. So
crazy to see. I do think Albon going P7 bodes well for Sainz next season.
I think so too, and I think Sainz is going to come in, and I think a couple of the first races he's going to need to figure it out. Like he's not just going to jump in the car.
It's going to be a whole new car. He's not going to totally know how to.
I mean, they just put a screen on their steering wheel this year. So
big upgrades for them. They're getting the full version of Microsoft Excel and screens on their steering wheels.
Exactly. So
doing well. Do you think we are going to see Perez in an RBC after the Mexican Grand Prix?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think anyone other than maybe Liam Lawson has earned that other Red Bull seat.
You think it's going to be if so? Okay. You think it's going to be?
I have no idea.
Okay, just say hypothetically, Perez is gone, Mexican Grand Prix. You think it's Lawson going into the RBC?
You know, I think there's two camps right now. There's the Christian Horner camp,
and then Marco.
There's the Helmut Marko camp. And I think with everything that's gone on this year with the Christian Horner camp, I think Helmut might have a stronger pull within the sponsorship people, and I think because of that,
You'll see.
Liam might be in the car.
Yeah.
But
He's been talking pretty positively about Yuki the last couple days.
he has been too, and I mean, I think they're not. None of them are bad drivers. It's
No.
just going to be whose temperament is the best, who has the most experience, and right now the winner of both of those categories is probably Daniel. But Liam has a good attitude. Yuki's a little wild, hard to control, but he's a good racer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was reading Helmet was, praising Yuki a little bit, and then Daniel Ricciardo put out another statement also praising Yuki. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a situation where Danny stays at VCarb in a more long-term role as more of like a in-car driver's coach to the new, like as a development coach, because he is like, he's getting older.
Yeah.
But he is he's amazing for sponsors. He's like a sponsor's like perfect driver. He's like so happy. He's like so easy to talk to.
Yeah.
And he's also like zero conflict kind of guy.
Yeah.
But then he's also done like he's driven along Max.
Yeah.
Really well. He's driven with Yuki. He drove with Gasly or Ocon.
Danny was with Lando at McLaren.
Yeah, and then I think he's with Ocon.
It was Hulkenberg at Renault.
Yeah. But he did a good job with Lando too. Like he's made himself like a pretty good.
Well, I mean, in that era when it was Lando and Danny was the only guy who won.
Yeah, he
didn't agree with the car, but he won.
No, yeah, he still won. But like he's done a really good. I think he's a great guy to kind of talk to these younger drivers and be like, your driving's on point, but like mentally, this is kind of where you need to be, especially when you're talking to press. I think he's a great coach for that kind of stuff, and I could honestly see. My prediction is that we'll see Danny get signed to VCarb, and I think he'll stay. And I think most likely what would happen is he would go up to RB, and then Lawson would come in, and that'd give. I think Lawson's already a pretty level-headed guy, but it would give him time to kind of just like also adjust.
Yeah.
Or total nuts prediction, which probably won't happen, is Honda goes to Aston. They are. And Yuki somehow manages to get Stroll out of his seat.
I don't know.
And it's him and Alonso.
Us Canadian guys like to stick together,
Yeah, that's actually dude, what you're gonna vote?
I don't know. I mean, they're gonna want a Japanese driver in the seat. I think. I mean,
for sure.
Historically speaking, that's always been something.
Yeah, but you think Alonso's contract? He stays at Aston Martin even after he's done racing.
Yeah.
He's going to be there as a coach.
Yeah.
In some degree. So I think it just comes down to, is Alonso ready to kind of,
take a step back? I mean, Stroll has beaten him or has been right there with him.
Yeah.
For last couple of races now. Alonso was.
Are you secretly a Stroll fan?
Sorry. I mean, you
got to respect the Canadian, but as a driver.
Yeah. I think we could do better. I mean, better than.
Oh yeah, we should mention that we're in Canada.
Yeah,
and we want more Canadian representation in F1, please.
I guess we just all need to start making more money to throw sponsorships,
dude, or just like get more there needs or more go-karting programs out here.
Yeah, racing programs.
Like there just isn't a lot.
No, there's nothing.
Yeah, and there's great. Dude, we got so much land.
Yeah,
we have ample amounts of land to put tracks in.
Yeah, I mean the one thing we got working against is maybe the weather.
That's fun.
But, we'd be good wet weather drivers.
Yeah, or you ball out and you do a heated track.
Yeah,
like you heated driveways.
Yeah.
Right
here, heating your tires. Let's just heat the track.
Heat the track. Could you imagine a winter race, tons of snow, and then a heated track that's like clear? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, what's that? What's that? The CFL game that plays in like
BC Place?
No. Plays like Manitoba, like on a frozen lake.
Oh,
it's like not the Grey Cup, but like, dude, it's so picturesque.
Yeah,
we can have that for F1.
I mean, to give credit, the Finnish have figured it.
Mm-hmm.
So like we can figure it out. I guess it's the rally heritage. Maybe we don't have any heritage.
We have no heritage.
We have no racing heritage.
There's no racing heritage here. All of our tracks end up getting taken down.
Yeah,
It's really sad.
People get mad at you when you drive fast on the 4 service roads. So
Although I didn't know this, who's the ex F1 driver that was slandering Danny at the Montreal race?
oh, the French guy.
The French guy.
Yeah.
He designed the racetrack in Kelowna.
I think the French track is named after him too.
Oh, really? We'll put it in post.
Yeah.
Pop his name up there. I can't remember. But yeah, there's no Canadian representation other than the Strolls. But next race, Italy.
Monza.
I'm very excited to see that. I think that's going to be a fun track. That's another thing I was looking at, just with Red Bull's position and like the gap between Lando and Red Bull in the Dutch Grand Prix is the majority of the tracks coming up don't favor Red Bull at all. Their driving characteristics. Like, we're getting a lot of tight technical courses that Red Bull has historically never been particularly good at, with like their tire degradation and also just the driving characteristics of the car.
Yeah. I
think that we're going to, personally, I believe that we're going to see McLaren take the Constructors Championship. Yeah, I don't think Red Bull's going to be able to hold it together.
Perez hasn't done enough, I think.
No,
to contribute to that.
Not at all. And then on top of that, like, Lando and Piastri are both phenomenal drivers. Yeah. They're regularly in the top 3. Yeah. I would not be surprised if we saw another Piastri squeeze out another win.
Oh, yeah. Although that's quite controversial right now. I'm not sure if you have been following the Drivers' Championship, but if they had let Lando win...
Oh, yeah.
He would have been substantially
closer. Yeah, and it would have been a possibility.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has to win every single race.
I think he would have to win every single race, and Max would have to
They would have to explode, essentially.
Yeah, they'd have to explode, and Max would have to do terrible. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Max is still going to take it. But that's a good point. Like, I think that is the one downfall of McLaren at this point, is they make really bad decisions.
Yeah.
And I don't know if when they're on the radios, if they're using, I'm sure they are. They're using like code words and stuff. Yeah. Like, who are we racing?
They're open radios.
Yeah, they're open radios. So they are using, hidden messages in there, but their race strategy just seems to be all over the place.
Yeah.
And I know it was nice for Piastri to win, but they should have let Lando win. Like, he gave Piastri the opportunity to catch up, and then he gapped him, dude. He like made such a big distance, and at that point, like,
you're running clean air.
Yeah.
If he's not gonna stay on your ass and like earn the pass, I don't think he should be letting him go by. But they also messed up Piastri's strategy. They did. Like, they felt bad, I think, but I'm sure there's some type of agreement in their contracts that says if we say this, you have to do this. But
it's tough.
At the same time, I think I was listening, and I think it was David Coulthard who was the announcer I was listening to at the time, and he was essentially saying, like, no, I wouldn't do it. I would pay for the consequences afterwards, and I would win the race.
Yeah, like, ask for forgiveness afterwards.
Would you want to win your race that way? Your first race win?
No, if I was Piastri, I would have just said, we're to radio it in, so just let him take it.
I want to earn it.
Yeah, because it's not a great win. I can't imagine it feels great for Piastri to have his one win be basically given to him.
No.
These guys are all so competitive.
They're so competitive. That's what I love about it. Not to mention, Piastri's had a broken rib for like the last 3 races.
Yeah, that didn't come out till just before summer break. He's like, we've been dealing with this broken rib. Like, dude, that's wild.
Oh yeah, my seat pinched wrong. Like, well, dude, like, that's kind of serious.
Yeah, it's kind of a big thing.
Like, props to you, but how much, like, what are you taking? Because I want some.
It's on the good stuff. Crazy. I think those the peak athletes. I think they get given better stuff than we get.
I'm pretty close, but
yeah. We'll have to go to the go-kart track and see.
Yeah.
Dude, actually, the new track out in Richmond.
Oh, the double.
When that opens up, we're gonna go.
We have to.
Yeah.
It's coming up pretty soon.
I hope so. Um, yeah. Other than that, well, you've got a couple notes on here for Haas.
Oh yeah, do you hear about this
I,
whole
I didn't
Haas thing
I
afterwards?
didn't no I didn't hear it. So tell me. I didn't.
Okay, so like I want to start off by premising I'm glad Gunther Steiner left Haas.
Yeah.
I'm glad he left on his own will
Yeah.
as well because I think he's a great team boss and I love how like cut and dry he is about things. Especially when it comes to racing, he doesn't hold back. He's very honest. But Gene is blowing it. Gene is just all over the place. I'm not sure. Like I know he's a big race guy, but what is going on here? Like you let Gunther Steiner leave
Yeah.
because of what the stunts that you've been pulling. So apparently, the Crawley, the Russian
Yeah. I
Kali or
remember.
whatever, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
The
butcher
like
the
it's like the
pronunciation.
farming like company or
Yeah,
whatever.
who Mazepin
Yeah.
was part of
Yeah.
was owed money through a legal battle from Haas, and Haas hadn't paid the money yet.
Oh,
So
that's a
essentially,
bad person to
bad
even
people to owe money
yeah,
to
to owe money
Russian
to.
farmers.
Yeah, you're getting the Russian oligarchy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd be scared.
I'm good. I'm good. I'll pay whenever you ask. So they essentially just seized all of their assets in Zandvoort and wouldn't let them leave.
Oh shit. Okay, I didn't know that.
So the
Jesus.
wire apparently was sent prior to this happening, but they hadn't received it yet. So they decided that they were going to seize the assets of Haas. And that
Oh,
was
that's
part of
not
the legal
good.
battle that was going on. They were allowed to do that.
And
So
I mean, like Haas is also was in legal fights with Gunter as well.
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're like suing him as well
Yeah.
for putting stuff in his book, like
Of
his
course.
memoir.
Well, that's how they're going to make money to pay.
Yes. Okay. We'll
Russian
sue. Yeah,
owner.
we'll sue Gunter to pay the Russian mob.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
yeah,
that we're saying it is the
that's
Russian
been going
mob.
on. I wouldn't mess with that. Not my. I wouldn't. I know there's big business going on in this, but like that's big business.
That is pretty big
I
business.
don't mess around with that. But apparently today it's Monday. This was all going on yesterday after the race when they were trying to leave. It's all being cleared up today.
Okay.
So everything has hit the bank accounts.
Yeah, the
and
money
they're
the
free to
money's
go.
through. Okay, well,
So
geez,
no
I can't
knees were
believe that.
broken in the making of this video.
Pretty crazy. They're like just seizing everything.
No, I mean I guess through the legal battle they had the right to do so, which is totally fair.
Do you think they come in with police or private security?
I would hope it's
Is I don't know. Dude,
I don't know what's better actually.
I'm assuming it's probably private,
Yeah.
and it gets real scary.
That's some big dudes.
Yeah.
Or maybe not dudes too, like it could be.
Do you like seeing Pass as like the only American representation, or are you kind of like pro
I
at least two other seats being opened up and us going from like
North American.
yeah, and having like two more teams on the grid potentially?
I don't know. I think F1 has a lot of heritage,
Yeah.
and I think opening competition up and having free competition globally is a good idea, but I think they should also earn the spot. Like the Andretti bid, I think they probably should have let Andretti in.
I mean, they're 50% of the way there. The
Yeah.
FIA has said yes,
Yeah, but
and it's now just
Liberty
F1.
Media
Yeah,
has.
Liberty Media hasn't said yes,
So-
so we're just waiting on that.
I mean, I get it why. I mean, you think about you're washing some of the rights from other teams, like the media rights.
Yeah.
Your sponsorship money decreases.
But on the other side, potentially you're looking at a larger demographic of like the American population getting into it, because now we've got
Yeah.
there's two American teams.
Well, I mean, we got Vegas last year.
Yeah.
Like America's there now. They're participating.
Yeah.
I would be interested to know what the viewership stats are between North America and Europe. I still think they're probably higher in Europe, but
Oh, dude, for sure. It's like kids grow up
yeah.
wanting to be
Yeah.
F1 drivers, or like even just racing drivers. Never at any point
No.
growing up in like any elementary school around here was anyone
No.
talking about any kind of race programs
No.
or go-karting,
No,
even in the
it was
slightest.
freaking hockey, lacrosse. And
Yeah,
soccer.
exactly. Yeah, we're not. There's zero representation. So
Yeah, and you didn't wear a helmet either.
no helmets. But I don't know. I'd be super down to have at least another team come in, have like another American team come in. I'm not super keen on the Vegas track, honestly.
Oh yeah.
No, I kind of find it gimmicky, and the street circuits are cool, but I would rather have another dedicated track like we have with the Circuit of America in Austin.
Yeah.
There's so much room for like a track to put anywhere.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I mean, yeah, it just comes down to investing in the infrastructure and seeing where that takes us, right?
Yeah. And then also, I don't know if you heard just like everything that happened with like Vegas last year. There was, I believe it was signs pulled up that like puck from the ground.
Oh yeah.
Torched the bottom of the
Ferrari car. Yeah, it got destroyed.
Yeah, destroy the Ferrari car. When that was happening, it postponed so much of practice that they said, okay, we're going to be doing it at midnight, and all of the people that had paid, and like just so you know, Vegas is like, it's crazy expensive to get like a ticket just to even see the practice sessions. People sat in the stadiums till midnight waiting for this to happen, and then they kicked them out. Yeah. So these people are like have put like $3,000 down to like watch this, and all of a sudden they're being asked to leave because of like I don't know if it's like security reasons or regulations.
They just can't have people. Was over.
Yeah, there's like we can't have people on like in the podium. So it's just I don't know. If Vegas can figure it out, then it's fine. But it to me, Vegas is just like such a spectacle, and I don't know if they need another like big thing to kind of come in there. I'd rather see like the Track of America is so cool.
Yeah, I mean, Texas is big.
Let's get a couple other.
It's a big race.
Yeah, it's a huge race. Let's get a couple other big Texas tracks. It'd be sweet.
North American base wise, I mean, Mexico City, Texas, Vegas, Montreal.
Yeah, in Montreal. Forgot about Montreal.
So us going to Montreal is like, you know.
I was actually looking it up. It'd be for us to leave Canada.
Yeah.
Or even just us to go to a race. Yeah. Austin is the most.
Austin.
It's Austin.
Yeah, it's Austin.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even Montreal. Montreal's.
No, even with exchange and everything, it's still Austin.
Austin's the best one.
Yeah.
Unless F1 decides Canada's the greatest new market.
Yeah.
And they start building some tracks over here.
Here we go, Saskatchewan. Buckle up.
Yeah. There's nothing. Middle of Canada, nothing. Miles and miles of nothing.
Yeah.
So many
places. Longest race on the grid.
Yeah.
on the
Trans-Canada Highway. Yeah. Let's just shut down a section of it. People aren't using it.
Here we go, Stanley Park. Let's see what you got.
And it's just a drag race. It's just a straight line drag race.
Yeah. Who has the slipperiest car?
Yeah, it'd be great. Speaking of slippery cars.
Yeah.
Newey potentially going to Aston.
Oh man, I don't know where he lands, but wherever he lands, I've been waiting for this moment forever because I am the Adrian Newey's biggest fan.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I love Adrian. He has lived just one hell of a life.
Yeah.
Like joining McLaren in the 90s and bringing McLaren to the 90s McLaren, like Mika Hakkinen, like all of these other crazy drivers, and then essentially moving from McLaren to Williams in the late 90s, and like his like vibe that he brought to McLaren still like outlasting his presence there. Like he was actually still influencing the design builds at McLaren even after he left because of what he established there in the 90s.
That's awesome. He's such a smart guy.
Yeah. He just sits there and he just observes, and he doesn't need to take like computer designs or digital creations. He can just hand draw it.
Yeah.
I would highly encourage you to read his book. It's amazing.
Okay, yeah. No, I didn't even know he had a book. I'll look into that. Yeah. But like I think it'd be cool to see him go to Aston. I think regardless of where he goes, we'll see a pretty noticeable shift in that team's performance.
I mean, Stroll's got deep pockets.
Yeah. Millions of dollars.
So
billions of dollars.
They can figure it out if they want to. And
well, I mean, like I remember I was reading Newey was talking about like basically for him to kind of like the perfect deal for him is someplace that keeps him close to home.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to have to like move to a new country. Aston is super close to home for him with their new Silverstone head office.
Yep.
And from what I understand, they've given him basically carte blanche to like, we're going to give you $100 million salary and carte blanche to build the car however you want to.
You input whatever you want to input.
Plus with Aston being like an actual car manufacturer and his dream, obviously having always to have built a car.
Yeah.
And Aston Martin built gorgeous cars as
Yeah.
it is. I couldn't see a better place for him to go. I think it'd be really cool.
I don't know if you've seen this Red Bull car that
Yeah,
they
that
made.
it looks
This
nuts.
RB17.
I haven't seen renders or photos of like the interior yet,
Oh,
but it's a monocoque, right? Like
it's insane.
it's super
full
cool.
carbon.
Yeah,
Like
it's nuts.
it's
But could
insane.
you imagine
Yeah.
him with Aston
Can
Martin?
you imagine him with Fernando?
Yeah, it'd
With
be
Fernando.
yeah, they'd be two peas in a pod.
God. That'll be like sitting there like, why did I leave?
Fernando won't be giving up his seat if
No.
that happens. So he'll
No,
be racing for a couple
60s. He'll be still racing if Adrian's there.
He's gonna set records for oldest driver on the grid, and I don't think it'll ever get beaten. He'll maintain that position.
Man.
He's such a funny guy, though.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I would think we should like low key just do an Adrian Newey episode. Like,
I'd be down.
How much?
Let me get that book, and we can we can do a deep dive on Adrian Newey.
You got to.
Yeah,
like I could talk about him for days. So, but let's get back to Zandvoort.
Yeah.
So I know we spoke about this earlier, but like strategy wise, what were you feeling for strategy here? Like, what would you go with, knowing the strength and weaknesses of every car? Let's maybe start with like McLaren, then go to Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes, just following the order.
So McLaren obviously had come into it with a pretty good game plan from what Lando was saying. Like he knew on, I think he said like lap 6 that Max just wasn't pulling away like he'd expected him to. So they stayed with plan A, and it was just essentially just a push.
Yeah.
And obviously it worked. It's unfortunate. I don't know really what happened with Piastri, why he wasn't able to link up quite as well as North.
He got stuck behind, I think it was George.
A bit of a train, yeah.
I think he was stuck behind George or Leclerc. I can't remember which one it was, but in the post-race interview, Lando was saying like I thought, you know, when I got by Max, I was thinking, oh, he's going to stick with me. He's going to be right there, but then
he just didn't.
He started gapping him out.
Yeah.
And then, Max went for the undercut.
22 seconds, man.
It didn't work. The undercut didn't work.
Yeah.
Lando just got back out in front of him and just was like, oh, I'm in clear air. I have the fastest car.
It was easy. He just walked him. And I'm going to be honest, I don't even know if much strategy is even involved in that, because it's just, so if you're asking me who had the best strategy, I'm not going to say McLaren, because I think they just had the best car.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, that's a fair statement.
Like, if I'm looking at, well, actually, I might be biting myself in the ass here as we wait for this plane to go by.
Perfectly timed sneaks.
Yeah. A portion of me wants to say Ferrari had a really good
I was
strategy.
hoping you would say that.
I do. I think that Ferrari had a really good strategy, but like also Charles had no idea what they were doing.
No.
And was surprised that he even came third. But then like Carlos also made so many positions up. So I don't know if that was a strategy thing or the car just worked really well on the track.
Carlos
they were on.
Finish.
Dude, he like
5th.
Yeah, 5th. It's nuts. And he was down. I can't remember where he started, but it was not even close to 5th. So I don't know if that was strategy for them.
Yeah, he started
just
11.
Yeah, huge. Like he did an absolute phenomenal job. But just based off of how surprised Charles was that he got third, I can't say that they had a great strategy. Maybe they did, and they're just kind of,
I don't know.
They're fooling us.
They just had horseshoes this weekend or what it was. Because, I mean, they looked like heroes.
Mm-hmm.
They looked like heroes. And it's, it's Halloween apparently, because they turned their clown suits off and put their
actual driving
suits on.
But I mean, like, if you were looking at like the top 4 of like Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, and McLaren, Ferrari, man.
Yeah.
It was Ferrari for me for best. Unless you've got,
I think that's it. I think that's the answer for me too.
Yeah,
I was impressed, and I mean Charles was impressed.
Yeah. Just his quote of like, we're gonna have to go back and look at what did we do correct?
Yeah,
because we got to replicate that. That was a good thing to be doing. But also just like the sheer shock on his face when he asked Max, what was the gap?
Oh, I was waiting
What
for
was
that.
the gap? And,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, it was 20, 22 seconds. And Charles just
He's
face
just
is
there,
just, he's just like, oh, Jesus.
another one. Eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was pretty funny. That's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah. Carlos actually started 10th because of Albon's
oh, the disqual.
DQ.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, but 11th, 10th,
Dude, still absolute hero.
up to 5th. That's
Yeah.
amazing, especially in this grid right now.
Yeah. And it's that track too is also a tight track.
Yep. And it's, there's not
Not
a ton of great passing
No,
opportunities.
there's really
Speaking
one or two corridors that are
of
great.
passing, that shot 5 cars wide down the straight.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
the most
Awesome.
epic shot
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
Dude, that was a good, like, I was watching it with my dad, and we
Yeah.
were both going, that is a lot of cars.
Yeah.
Kind of like all side by
All
side.
into the first corner,
Yeah,
too.
pretty wild.
Magnussen's just kind of there, just like, oh, man.
I'm surprised that there wasn't any crash. Everyone kind of made it through.
It was clean.
Yeah, it was super clean.
It was clean.
It was pretty wild. Although, no, Magnussen did go off on gravel and have to take a.
Well, Magnussen was way out of it after
Yeah.
that. He was the one. He started, I think, in the front of that pack.
Yeah, and then he kind of
And
dropped
then
back.
he kind of dropped back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Albon, did you see the radio message of Albon? That was dangerous.
No, I did.
You pay to be dangerous, man. It's part of the gig.
Part of the gig.
Yeah.
I've got to say, Albon of all the drivers though is like the least F1 driver.
Yeah,
I think I could have seen him doing so many other jobs
Yeah.
that are safer.
Yeah.
But he just happens to be a phenomenal driver.
I mean, I respect it.
Yeah.
I think he's probably, out of the current grid, top 5 for me.
Dude, he's a great driver. Like I said earlier, I'm really excited to see him and Carlos as teammates.
Yeah,
I think they're
me
going to
too.
be, and I genuinely hope that we see Williams come on a bit of a rise. I think I like Val's as a team principal.
Yes, me too.
I think he's a good, solid dude. He's made it pretty clear recently that no, Williams is not like a junior team from Mercedes, which is great. He's like standing his ground.
Yeah.
I hope the best for them. I really do want to see that team like kind of come back. And I think it'd be really cool. Like if, next year we see a good jump with Carlos being in that seat and Sargent kind of taking a hike.
Yeah.
And then 2026, who knows what happens. Maybe Carlos ends up staying.
I mean, we'll see. I think that's the biggest decision I think that was the biggest factor in his decision, is that they were willing to give him a flexible contract.
Yeah.
And I think he was going into it being, okay, I'm okay with finishing this era with you guys because I see the potential here. And then I want to start the new era where I want to start the new era.
Yeah.
And if that's at Williams, it's at Williams.
If it's not
someone else, I mean, we have to look at contracts. Like, what's going on with that Red Bull if Max doesn't stay there? You know what I mean? Like, I could see Max going to Aston.
You can see Max going to Aston?
If Newey's there?
Yeah, you just follow him?
Yeah. And you think Lance is not going to get kicked out of his seat if Max is knocking on the door? Like, there's a certain point where you got to be like, okay, son, step aside. We're going to make some money here, boys.
Make some money. I think that'd be...
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know, man.
Just let that one stew a little bit.
I feel like Lawrence's like whole reason for getting into F1 is keeping his kid, like basically buying 100%. His kid a team. So, man, that'd be crazy.
I mean, look at what Lance is doing in the off season here. He's going snowboarding, like hanging out with like the McMorris guys. Like they're like doing extreme sports. He's not just like all about racing. He's about the rush of doing
just everything,
exciting things, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, who knows? Maybe
But he's also stepped up this season.
He has. So
maybe it's Fernando taking that step back, like you were saying, and being part of the team.
I think he'll always be. I think it is actually part of his contract that he always has a position there. But like I just said 2 seconds ago, if Newey does go there, that guy's not going anywhere.
But
man.
maybe Newey's part of an endurance team, and then Fernando and Max race an endurance team on the side. Like maybe in the contract, Stroll is flexible enough to allow Max to explore and do sim racing at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Dude, I'm sure they would give him just anything you want to do. Anything you want to do, Max? Anything you want to do? You don't think he would go to Mercedes?
I'm not.
Dude, Toto is so gung ho for him,
man. But like, I just
I don't. But if he goes to Audi, What if Audi comes out of the gate
Audi
screaming?
They need.
They have to.
They have to. There's
Yeah.
been so much hype.
Do you think Valtteri's gonna?
I love Valtteri.
I do too. I would actually be really bummed to see him go.
Me too. I mean, I get why he might going. I'm not sure. Like, okay. Side note, I'm a huge Strava guy.
Okay.
Valtteri's posts on Strava are
Nuts.
insane. He like will do like 100 kilometer, 120 kilometer rides with like thousands of meters of elevation gain, and then race the next.
Dude, I didn't know that. I know he was into cycling.
Yeah, dude, it's intense.
Pretty funny. Nice. Well, yeah, dude, I'd be really bummed to see him go. I'm surprised that Audi hasn't offered him a contract yet.
I think they're waiting for Carlos to figure out what.
Yeah, but it's been
a week.
It's been a little bit more than a week.
Yeah,
You know, I feel like
what is it, the summer break? That he
Yeah.
announced it? Yeah, I guess.
yeah,
So.
I feel like it's been enough time that they would have been at least having conversations and people would have been seeing things.
Yeah. I mean, I get why they took Hulkenberg.
Yeah, I think that Hulkenberg's a great pick
Yeah.
for him. Hulkenberg, I think, deserves after this amount of time maybe a chance at winning something.
Driver to never win.
Yeah, yeah. He's top of that list.
Yeah.
But so that I think that'd be really cool. Obviously, Zhao is not going anywhere near one of those seats.
Depends. I mean, he brings. I think he's not. I think he's a great driver, actually. To be honest.
Do you?
Yeah, I think he is. I think that Alfa Romeo is not a great car currently.
No, it's a terrible car.
The sponsorship money and the dollars that he's brought to that team haven't gone to the right place.
He's been pretty open about being a reserve driver for them.
I think that would be a great option. I think he's a junior still. We have to admit that he is still. This is like his third season. Second season in Formula One. You know, I think he's gained a lot of experience, but maybe he needs that professionalism from like a high level team to really grow into that driver that he could be.
Yeah. He needs to go to VCarb and have Danny tutor him.
Yeah.
And Yuki can go
to
Audi.
That'd be ironic.
That'd be really weird.
Yeah, it would be super weird.
Probably not.
Can you imagine Yuki at Audi?
Dude, it'd be hilarious. It'd be super funny. Yuki would just be so confused the whole time.
Yeah. What's funny, actually, I was just thinking about this. I think Hulkenberg's German, right? Yeah, he's German.
Yeah, he's German.
So it makes sense that he went to Audi.
They want a nice German guy in there.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I don't understand. Like,
so Vettel's the other guy.
Yeah, I don't understand why they wouldn't like. Hulkenberg obviously makes sense, but I mean, Valtteri's right there too. He's pretty Nordic,
experienced,
European heritage. Follows orders. He's the best co-driver.
Oh yeah,
you could ever ask for.
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah,
follows team orders to a T.
Yeah. Too much, I think.
Too much. I mean, I've seen a couple funny clips of him going for like fastest lap when they told him not to, and he just kind of is pretty cheeky about it.
Just forgets about it.
Yeah.
Whoops. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize.
I didn't hear you properly.
They were telling Lando, as just the past race, to not go for it.
Really?
Yeah, they were telling him his team order, saying like, don't go chasing it.
I didn't think they said anything about it.
Yeah, they were telling him not to chase it, but it's like, dude, this guy's been charging the battery for the last 3 laps.
Full deployment. He said that in the post race.
Basically has no gas in the tank.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's gonna go for it.
Dude, he was on like what? Like, I think it was like 44 lap hard tires.
Yeah.
44 laps.
Yeah, and he was still gaining time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or gaining like
and he was riding the curbs too. Yeah. That whole race. Like, dude, he was not holding back.
A few of the shots, it's just like this guy is cooking.
Yeah, he's locking up on the inside tire as he's going around the curb.
Yeah.
Insane. And then he's just
as long as he doesn't say lovely jubbly.
Yeah. I loved it.
Whatever he says.
As soon as he said it, right when he finished the race and they were doing the radio interview as he was doing his victory lap, simply lovely. And I was thinking in my head, you little shit.
Yeah. He's pretty cheeky about it.
Yeah. Because him and Max are buddies.
Yeah, dude. They are. I think they'll maintain friends for a long time. I don't think they're that. No. I mean, like the shit that happened a couple of races ago, I think it's blown over, and those two are going to be buddies for a while.
I mean, it's Max. That's how he races.
Yeah.
That's how Max races.
I think that was a shock, though, for Lando to see it firsthand and like have his friend do it to him.
Yeah, instead of like the Lewis stuff that was going on before.
Because
Yeah.
like that's like okay, well it's like this guy that's pining for world championships
Yeah.
up against like the top dog.
Yeah.
It's like okay, there's gonna be some
Yeah.
dog fights happening.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
But
but
you can't just stick your car in there and expect people to go around you.
yeah,
Like I get it. I respect it
yeah,
because it's a hustle. It's a move,
yeah,
but you can't be doing
all the time.
it. Yeah.
But like Max, just like
He's
saying
just,
like, yeah,
oh,
I wasn't moving under braking.
yeah,
And it's like
I was there first.
I was there first.
Oh, what do you mean? I was there first.
Like, bro, we got cameras everywhere, man.
We can see what
We
you're
can
talking
see
about.
what
Actually,
you're doing.
when he did that in that race, and then Jean Pierre came on the radio and was like, "Max, I'm not even going to dispute that. Like, I'm not.
Yeah,
Like,
that was.
you're being like a spoiled brat right now. You need to stop." So, yeah, it's our local Harbor Air.
Yeah, they do regular passes. All right, well, what are we at here now for time?
51.
51. All right, well, is there anything else that you kind of want to
Should we talk about predictions?
for next race?
Oh yeah.
All right, yeah, let's do it. So
what are we looking at here?
August 30th,
Monaco.
Monaco.
Ooh, Monaco. Monaco's pretty high speed.
Yeah, dude, it's a lot of straight lines.
Oh, pause for a second. Okay,
sorry,
so
it's Monza.
Monza, yeah, sorry.
Monza.
Yeah. No, Monaco, Monza. It's,
Same thing.
we're from North America. One thing that I wanted to talk about was the rear wing on the Red Bull, actually. So Red Bull had a high downforce rear wing on their car this week.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Super interesting because like it's not a high downforce track per se, but I think they put it on there because they're worried about the tire deg. And this is what I wanted to come back to with the laps that they put in. So because of the rain and the conditions for FP3 and Sargent going off and all this drama, they weren't able to do proper testing supposedly on getting what they wanted for their setup. So they were running a high downforce wing, which is why Lando made Max just sit there essentially when he went by him. So they didn't have the top speed. And if you looked at the track review, Lando was pretty much 3/4 of that track. He was faster than Max.
Yeah.
But in the downforce sections where you needed high downforce, Max was faster.
Interesting. Okay.
So,
do you think they maintain that wing going over to Monza?
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
What do they do?
And that'll be interesting.
I think they're going to get slippery.
I kind of hold on. I'm going to quickly. I want to know the top speeds for Monza versus the Dutch Grand Prix.
That's a good question.
Because I think that'll come into play here. So Monza apparently is looking at around 285 kilometers an hour or 177 miles per hour.
Yeah, man.
Which is fast.
Quote unquote, the temple of speed. Yeah, high speed corners, long straights, highest speeds in some of the highest speeds in the Formula One calendar. Like it's gonna be a slippery race, and I think, it's gonna be a good race,
dude. It's gonna be a really good race.
I really hope that Red Bull comes back and wins the race.
So. Jeez, what did I just say is top speed for? So Dutch Grand Prix, it looks like they're going quicker.
Really?
Yeah. Lando on a speed trap set 327 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, it is a high speed circuit too, I guess. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like they run a high downforce wing.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
So, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so are they going to go completely opposite of that now in Monza? And they're going to run a super slippery car?
I think they'd have to.
Downforce?
I think you're looking at a lot more. I mean, some of the corners in Monza are tight. Turn 1 and 2 are hard turns. 4 and 5 is pretty hard, and then 6 is a big sweeper over to like another corner in 7.
But how many stops are they gonna do? I mean,
yeah,
one stop. You run medium hard, or do you run hard medium?
I think it's gonna. Okay, so if I'm just gonna go off of like my predictions for like top 3, because I think there's gonna be there's a lot of things that could come into play here, but I think if I'm a betting man, we're gonna see a McLaren in first again. I'm gonna say Lando.
Okay.
I would love to see Piastri personally.
But we're talking drivers' championship.
We're talking drivers' championship. I think Lando's going to be gunning for it. I want to say that the Ferrari energy is going to come through really hard.
Spicy. And yeah, I mean, it would.
It would. I mean, it's their home track. They've just done really well. If they can sit down and realize, like, okay, like what did we just have happen here? And Carlos is on a heater. If Carlos can do well in qualifying, I bet you we could see him take a second or a third.
That's the biggest thing with Carlos is he's not a qualifier.
No,
he's not a qualifier.
He struggles. Yeah. He definitely struggles.
That's where Charles is the best one-lap driver. For sure, I give him that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, okay. Okay, so you're going McLaren, Ferrari.
Yeah, I bet you we're going to see a very similar podium to what we just saw.
Okay.
If not that, I think we're going to see a McLaren, Red Bull McLaren. I think is probably what's going to happen. Yeah, and it's not going to be Perez.
You don't think Perez?
No, I think
he's been performing really well this year, and I think he might be up for a podium.
Just get out of here. I think the Dutch Grand Prix. I think we saw a little bit of like Perez coming back to like his former glory, but like, also if he just nukes it at this track, I also just wouldn't be surprised. I think also a lot of guys like Monza.
Yeah, they think they do.
I think there's a lot of drivers that like Monza.
It's a heritage there.
It's a heritage. It's been around since the 50s.
Yeah.
It's a good track.
Okay.
I think if I'm a betting person, we're going to see a McLaren, Red Bull McLaren.
Okay.
Probably Lando, Max, Piastri. But if the Ferrari gods are smiling down on our boys, I think we're going to see Lando, Carlos, Max.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You want to lock that in?
Yeah, I'm going to lock that in.
Lando, Carlos, Max.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see you. I'm going to go. This is going to be controversial.
Okay.
And only for my second place, I think. I'm going to go Max for the win. I think he's going to want to come back, and he's going to want to come back strong. I think Red Bull has a really good high-speed car.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Lewis for second.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I think he's joining Ferrari next year.
He's got to show face. Yeah, he's got to show face.
He's got to step it up a little bit, and then I'm going to go Piastri.
Okay.
Just because I don't think Lando has the consistency built in yet.
True. Okay, fair enough.
And I think Piastri is going to win it on strategy. I think they're going to have Lando winning for most of the race, and then they're going to have a different strategy call for Piastri.
And then there's going to be a switch up that's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be on a safety car.
Oh, okay. So you're predicting something.
I think there's going to be a safety.
Okay.
I know it's high-speed track. There's probably not like a lot, but that also means there's not a lot of passing opportunities. People are willing to take
some risks
more.
Yeah, and we've got some pretty tight corners.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna get a safety car. I think it's gonna mess up the order a little bit.
Okay. I think your predictions are more fun. I think it leaves for a more entertaining race.
I mean, I like entertainment, so
yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm super into that. I think if we continue to do this, up until 2025, I think 2025 we should start doing
fantasy
based off of what we think, and kind of do like a bit of a grid. Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Cool.
All right, well, dude, episode 2. I think that was cheers. I think that was really good. I'm gonna put up on the bottom here our socials for you guys to go follow us wherever you want. Yeah, like, subscribe. Good episode.
Just trying stuff out.
Yeah, dude, nice.